everyone, I hope you're all really well today and have had a good week so far. So the weather hasn't been great, so hopefully you're going to enjoy some lovely Pilates with me instead today. So as usual, make sure that you don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable with. Listen to your body at all times, and if you feel any pain anywhere or feel any tugging, just stop that exercise and have a rest. I'll be giving you adaptations throughout the class as normal, so please choose the level which suits you best. Okay, so today we're going to do things slightly differently. Usually I do a full hour's class flowing through from starting position to starting position, but today it's going to be divided into two. So hopefully each half-hour segment will have a really nice flow throughout it, but it gives you the option of stopping if you want to and just doing half the class, then having a rest and then continuing with the second half of the class. Or you can do the class at different times during the week. So if you don't have an hour free and just want to do a quick 30-minute workout, hopefully this video will help you to do that. Okay, so with equipment today, we need our exercise mat, a little cushion for our head, and our band as well. Now it's also going to be really useful to have a slightly thicker cushion because we're going to be doing the side lying exercise where you need to have a little bit more support for your knee. So you can either have a thicker cushion or one of those small squishy balls, just something to put your knee on to raise it up to hip height. So if you could get all of those things together, and then we're going to start in standing. So we're going to find our standing correctly position to start with. So taking our feet hip distance apart, and letting the weight going down evenly through our left foot and our right foot. Core muscles coming in to help you stand up here, shoulders melting down your spine, arms hanging nice and long. Piece of thread just picking you up and lifting you up towards the ceiling. Feeling nice and tall here. And bring your toe muscles in to support you so you're not slouching forward or leaning backwards with your hips going forward. You're really nicely balanced here. We're going to take a few rocks forward and back. Just letting your toes extend along the floor in a nice relaxed position. Super. And then coming back to center. Remember that core connection here, so you can draw your pelvic floor slightly. Bring your tummy button into your spine, and we're going to go into a lovely side reach standing to start. So taking a deep breath in here and really filling your lungs full of air. As you breathe out, we're going to start reaching one arm to the side. Don't move your spine just yet. And then when you get all the way up to the top, we're going to lift up and out of our hips, lengthening through both sides of our waist. Inhale to restack our spine from the pelvis up towards the top and lower that arm down. Let's go on the other side. Breathing out to reach the arm up really smoothly, lifting up and over. You're trying to get a lovely lateral flexion through your spine. Restacking and down. So rather than collapsing into both sides of your waist, you're really lifting up and out, lengthening out of your waist and moving your spine from side to side. Going really smoothly, lifting up and over, really reaching with that top hand and letting your opposite hand just flow on down towards the floor. Being careful not to let your hips banana out to the side. Last one here, lifting up and out and restacking and floating that arm down. Wonderful. Just give your shoulders a nice rock backwards, getting rid of any tension you might be holding, and then going forwards here. Brilliant. Okay, so going straight into a side twist standing. We're going to have our arms even crossed to start with. So bring your arms up so that your elbows are level with your shoulders. Core muscles coming in, piece of thread coming through the crown of your head, breathing in and breathing out. Let's start turning our head to one side and rotating around really smoothly and coming back through to center. Now we're trying to keep our hips completely still. So you can imagine that your legs are buried in concrete, which is set hard. There's no movement through your lower body at all. Really smoothly, just helter-skeltering around. Turning your head to start with and imagining that twist traveling from your head right down to the base of your spine as it joins your pelvis. One more to each side here. And our final one. Coming back through to center, let's swap our arms over and go again. So this time we're going to turn to the side back through to center. Still keeping your hips facing forward. So if you've got somebody you're working out with, you can ask them just to spot check you and make sure that there's no movement at all through the area, which means that we're really getting that lovely rotation through our spine. Now ask yourself if your shoulders are coming around your ears and just try and melt them away. Breathing out to twist as we warm up our spine. You should be able to get a little bit further. And we'll do our final one like this. And again to the side and back through to center and drop your arms down. Okay, so it's time to get hold of your cushion, or you can use your squeezy ball if you have one. We're just going to hold that in our arms or hands at shoulder level. So this time we've got a long lever, meaning that your arms are going to have to work hard to stay in this position. So finding neutral spine and pelvis in standing again, make sure your feet are still hip distance apart. As you breathe out this time, we're going to rotate to the side, come back through to center. Lovely. Still thinking about keeping your hips facing forward and imagining a pole attaching your nose to the center of your ball or your cushion. And that's not going to move. So you're turning your head at the same rate as that ball is turning. Now you might find already that your arms are working hard. Try not to let them drop down below the level of your shoulders. So really nice to build the strength through our shoulders and our arms here. Getting long levers on our spine. And I can feel in myself that on each turn, I'm able to move just a millimeter more as my spine warms up. Great. Popping the ball down now and going into our dumb waiter. So now we're working on our rotation through the shoulder joint. So I'm going to show you from the side. Finding your standing position once again and drawing your lower arms up so that your upper arms are still and your forearms are parallel with the floor. We're going to keep our elbows still. So that's like our point of pivot. As you breathe out, you're going to pivot through your shoulders, keeping your elbows in towards you, and inhale to come back. So really lovely for your posture. You might feel your triceps switch on here, but also the muscles beneath and in between your shoulders. This is really going to help with your posture because they're the ones that help keep your chest back. Okay, let's go again. Opening out and in. A really simple exercise. Might feel like you're not doing much, but you really need to make sure that you've got the correct alignment. So it's easy to let your chin slip down. And also, as you go on, your shoulders can come up magically around your ears. So we're going to keep them relaxed. Opening out and back in. Out and back in. Lovely. 2 more times like this. Nice and slow. Seems to be going really fast today. Out and back in. And let your arms come down by your sides. So now we're going to make it more challenging. So beginners, don't do this with the band just yet, or if you are more advanced, you can pick up your band. Just lay it across your hands, nice and wide. The band is across your hands, ends down between your fingers, and we've got that same start position. So this time we're going to add in that band, so you're pulling that band apart, but still keeping your elbows in towards you. Opening out and coming back. So keep on going with your out breath. Moving out and in. And again. Out and in. Lovely. 3 more like this. Breathing out. Really feeling the backs of your arms switching on here. So remember, beginners, if you're still getting used to this exercise, you can do it without the bands. But to make it harder, add more resistance into the band. So the shorter the band, the harder this is going to be. Now back into our dumb waiter, but this time we're going to add in an arm extension. It's like a 2-part movement. We breathe in to prepare. Remember to engage your core muscles. Breathe out to open. Still breathing out. Float your arms up, pulling that band apart until it's at shoulder height. Then inhale, and with control, let your elbows come back down by your sides and return your arms. Okay, let's go again. Exhale to open. And float. So your arms are traveling up and out, really pulling that band apart. Inhale to draw that band in, resisting the pull of the band that tries to bring you in really quickly. and close. Whew, let's go 4 more times. I'll show you from the side this time. We're opening out, floating up, in and through. Good, and again. Open and pull. Bring your awareness to your toes now and ask what's going on through your feet. If you're holding any unnecessary tension there. Opening out, in and through. Good, and one final time. Opening out and inhaling to draw your elbows back in towards you and back through to the front. Well done. Popping that band down by your side once more. Hopefully you're feeling something going on through your arms and your shoulders. We're going to go into a really nice arm rotation. So this, although it might feel slightly odd, it's going to be really nice for easing out tension through your shoulders and increasing the range of movement. But if you have shoulder issues, just do what you can and don't try to force yourself through any pain. Just listen to your body. Okay, so standing correctly, this time we're going to bring our elbows up. All we're going to do, breathing normally, rotate. Now I can feel tightness through here as I bring my arm down. You might feel it somewhere else. Again, we're using our elbow as the pivot point. This is really nice to get your upper arm moving in that shoulder joint. Super. Nice and slowly, and down. Up and down. Now to make this a little bit harder, you can add in a pair of hand weights or 2 bottles of water if you have them. And that's just going to add on some extra load, meaning once again, your shoulders and your upper arms are really going to work hard. Again, fantastic for your posture. So you can see from the side, I'm keeping my elbows still and just rotating the upper arm in the shoulder. And 2, and 1, and float your arms down. Well done. Give them a little bit of a shake if you need to, and just walk out through your heels now. All right, we're going to get some movement through our ankles, our knees, and our hips with our Pilates squat. So first of all, we're going to practice our normal Pilates squat. So remember what we've done in class before. We have our feet slightly closer together than hip distance apart. Finding that standing correctly position, remember that piece of thread is coming up through the crown of your head. Your arms are hanging long and heavy, and you've got that lovely neutral spine and pelvis. You're going to maintain this position of your head, spine, and pelvis as you squat down. So you're going to need to use those core muscles responsibly. And that means you're going to switch them on more at the bottom of the movement and then release them as you stand back into this neutral position. So we're going to demonstrate now. As we breathe in this time, we're going to bend our knees on our hips. Sending our knees forward, our hips backwards, tummy muscles coming on. So you're maintaining that same position of your spine and pelvis as when you were standing up. Pressing through on the exhale to come up. Now, if you know that your knees are apt to come together, pop your thick cushion between your knees here. That's going to help you a little bit with your alignment. It's also really useful to have it there if you need to work on your pelvic health. So you can pop that cushion between, give it a little squeeze, and that's really going to help you activate your pelvic floor. So nice and smoothly, imagine that you're either downhill skiing or sitting on a public toilet. You're inhaling to come down, tummy muscles coming on. Exhale to come up. Super, going again. Inhale to come down. Exhale to come up. Final normal one like this. And exhale to come up. And once again, just walk through your feet, giving yourself a rest. All right, so adding in some arms now. Beginners, you might want to just stick with this Pilates squat, but if you're more advanced, add in these arms and it's going to be a lot harder. So just like we've done before, this time as we inhale, our arms go up in front of us. Exhale to come up. Inhale, send your bottom back, arms in front. Don't worry if you can't bring them up to your ear level. Just do what you can. And coming up. So again, watching for what's going on in your toes and asking if you're clutching at the mat. So now, as you come to standing, really use your glutes to squeeze yourself back up. So inhaling, tummy muscles switch on. Exhaling, pressing through to stand up. So this is really going to be great for the alignment of your knees as well. We're strengthening the muscles either side of our knees. And we're also getting our heart rate up a little bit as well, just by raising our arms. The heart's going to have to work harder to pump the blood around our bodies. Final one. And come up. Wonderful. Giving yourself another little rest, shaking your legs out. And now we're going to go into some alternate arm movements. So this time, we're going to sink down on the inhale. And then as we exhale, split your arms so one goes forward, the other goes back. And swap over. One more time on each side. Tummy muscles holding us and legs holding as well. And come up. And hopefully you should really be able to feel that through your quads. So we've been holding a squat whilst we do those arm movements, meaning that we're really strengthening this big muscle group in our legs and our bums. Let's go again. And inhale to come down. Exhale to split. Inhale to split. Exhale to split again the other way. Final one. And come up. Let's see if we can do two more. So breathing in to sink down. Exhale and inhale. Keep those legs nice and strong. Hold that squat. Tummy muscles really working hard to support your spine. And come up. We've got one final one. So you're going to inhale to come down. Exhale to split. Really reaching through your fingers to get lots of movement through your arms. Nice and active. And coming up to standing. Give your feet a little walk through. Well done. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a little bit of a squat position. No, a lunge position even. This is going to get your legs and your glutes really fired up. So, standing feet hip distance apart once again. Going to step forward with one foot and keeping your spine still, sink down, press up. So that front foot is in line with your hip. The back heel is lifted, keeping your spine nice and still, tummy muscles coming on. You can hold onto a wall or a chair if you need just a bit of extra support. I'm going to sink down and come up. Sink down. We're going to do 3 more on this side. So we're going to do a total of 5 altogether, I hope. You might feel a few little pops of air in your joints. Again, fantastic for your alignment. If you are not happy doing that, you can just do a tiny little lunge down. So you can go forward and just lunge an inch. You're still going to get the benefit of the movement around your heels, ankles even, your hips and your knees. So otherwise you can go into those 5 full lunges. Going to squat down, raise up. Keep your toe muscles coming in, your hips and your shoulders facing forward and your arms hanging long by your side. Or you can hold onto a chair for a bit of balance if you need it. Final one. And step back. Walking through your legs. Super. Okay, we're going to do 1 more on each side of those. And then we're going to add in a side reach. So working on our coordination and our balance. So final lunge set on each side. Stepping forward. And then you can exhale. Inhale. Nice and smoothly with control. Feel those tummy muscles coming on. Remember, you can adjust the depth of your lunge to suit you. Squatting down and up. Back up, stepping back. Wonderful. Last one here. Coming forward. Exhale. Inhale. So we're working on our balance again. Really strengthening around our hips and our knees. Coming down. And one final one. Stepping back and walk your legs out. Give them a bit of a tap. Get rid of any lactic acid that you're holding through there. Great. So now we're going to add in a bit of a side reach. So I'll show you to the front and then I'll go to the side. So it might be a bit scary with me coming straight at the camera. So we're going to step forward, sinking down. And then we're going to reach up and over. Bring the arm down. See if you can reach up and over to the other side, working on that balance. And come up. Lovely. Let's try on the opposite side. Stepping forward, exhaling to come down and reach. Exhale, really balance. I lost it there. And come up. Okay, so going from the side now. Remember, you don't need to go into a full lunge. Just do what suits you and listen to your knees, listen to your body. So coming down, we're going to exhale to side reach and come down. Really working on your balance and come up. Forward again, sinking down. One reach to each side. It doesn't matter which one you start with. But you might find that one side is harder than the other. And come up. Super. One last one on each side. Going to step forward. I can really feel it in my legs now. All the squatting is really working on my quads. Hopefully you can feel it too. And up. Hanging onto a chair or the wall if you need that bit of extra support. And standing up nice and tall. And give your legs a little bit of a rock. Super. Okay, so we're going to come down into a roll down now. So beginners, we can start with a little roll down. If you're more advanced, we're going to go into a bigger roll down all the way down to the floor. Again, you need to take care of your spine in this one. So if you feel any pulling or any compression, take it easy and you can use your hands on your legs to give you a bit of extra support. So back in our starting position, nice and tall, feet hip distance apart. Have your hands on your thighs if you are a beginner. Otherwise, you're going to breathe in and breathe out and nod your chin forward. And start rolling your spine forward, one bone at a time, keeping your hips balanced over your heels. So your bottom isn't swaying back. Your core muscles are coming in to support your spine. And you're going to go forward and down as much as you can without your bottom swaying backwards. Inhale. And restack one bone at a time all the way up. So it's a lovely way to get flexion through your spine and work on your control. So beginners, I'll show you the alternative version. Still in our feet hip distance apart. And we're going to roll forward, supporting yourself with your hands. Just rolling down until your knees and your fingers meet. Toe muscles still coming in, head hanging heavy. And then restacking from your pelvis up. Let's go again into that roll down. Choose whichever level you want. A roll down all the way. Nice and slowly. Tummy muscles coming in. Let your head hang heavy. Try not to grip the floor with your toes. And open out your hips, restacking your hips. One bone at a time. And coming up. Great. Last one here. Rolling down. Might find that after one or two of these, you can reach even further than before. And restacking all the way up, nice and slowly. Head's coming up, arms hanging long down by your sides. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to come down onto our front. So make your way down to the mat. And I will just set this up so that you can see me better. Okay, so we are going to start on our fronts and do a really nice dart. So make sure that there are no obstructions in the way, but have your bands to hand. So we're going to use that later on to do our cobra. So we're going to start with our toes touching. Actually, no, we'll do diamond press to start with, just to get some extension through our spine. So setting yourself up with your feet hip distance apart, legs lengthened away from you on the mat, top of your feet on the floor, elbows nice and wide, and a diamond shape formed by your fingers and your thumbs, your head resting on the back of your hands. Toe muscles coming in to engage. Going to take a nice deep breath in to prepare. And breathe out. Start lifting your head, neck and spine away from the floor. leaving your arms where they are. Imagine that the back of your neck is being pulled up towards the ceiling, and lengthen back down. Breathing out. Remember, you're keeping your tummy muscles active. And we're getting that extension through the very top of your spine. So what we're aiming for is a lovely curve up here. Good. And we'll do 3 more like this. And 2 more. Breathing out to lift up. And inhale. And final one. And inhale. Good. Take a couple of breaths rest here. And then organize yourself ready for dart. So this time we're going to rotate our legs in the hip sockets. Bring your toes together and let your heels go out to the side. So we've got an internal rotation of your thighs in the hip. We're going to place our forehead on the floor and take our arms long down by our sides with our palms facing up towards the ceiling. Your shoulders are rolling forward towards the mat. Breathing in here, and then as you breathe out, bring your heels together, lift your legs up from the floor and rotate your arms so that your palms are by your thighs, bringing the top of your spine off the mat so you're like a human dart. And inhale to lower down, turning your head so that your cheek is on the floor. Going to go again, so take a breath in and breathe out to lift all the way up. Squeezing your glutes and your thighs together. Inhale to come down. Let's go again, breathing out to lift up. Inhale to come down. 2 more times to each side. So another fantastic one for the strength of our spine, helping with our posture, opening out the front of our chest, and also activating your legs and your glutes. Really nice exercise to build on as well. So next week we'll be building on the dart to add in some arms. Final one to each side. Breathing out. Remember those tummy muscles are working. Really squeeze your arms down. Try to reach your fingers towards your heels. And lengthen back down. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to take our legs in the opposite direction. So take your heels out. Externally rotate your thighs so that your knees are pointing out and your toes are pointing out. Then we're going to get our band. So if you have a pair of tights, this will work as well. Trying to keep the band as wide as possible. Just wrap the band around the back of your shoulder blades. So it's just about, for ladies, bra strap height. For men, it's where your bra strap will be if you wore one. So now we're going to take our nose down on the floor and trap the band between your hands, underneath your hands. So your hands are level with your forehead, toes are pointing out, forehead is down, and we're going to go into a cobra pressing against the band. So you need to have a little bit of tension in that band, so just adjust yourself until you can feel it pressing you down into the floor. Breathing in, and then breathing out, start pushing your nose away. And lifting up, pressing into that band. You should really feel those muscles through your mid-back switch on as it presses up into the band. Keep your shoulders melting away from your ears and lengthen back down. Good, going again. Breathing out, keep your legs active, so you might need to squeeze your glutes to help you come up. Really feeling those muscles switch on and lengthen down. Wonderful. Let's go 3 more times. Breathing out, press that nose away, lifting all the way up and lengthen down. 2 more times here. Breathing out, pressing up and lengthening back down. And our final one, pushing that band away from you, really activating back of the neck nice and long and lengthen back down. Wonderful. Get rid of the bands. Place your hands back down on the floor, slightly wider than the mat and tiny little bit further forward than your forehead. Going to go into a full cobra if you can manage it. If you're a beginner, just stick with that cobra prep with the band if you want. Going to breathe in here and breathe out. Press your nose away, lifting up and then extending your arms to press through into that lovely cobra, opening out the front of your hips and lengthen down. Going again, breathing out, pressing your nose away. Extending your arms, breastbone going forward, shoulders melting down. And lengthen down. Okay, so for our next few, we're going to add in a turn of the head. So we're going to come all the way up. Look to the right. So you're just rotating your head on top of your neck. And come down. Going again, breathing out to come all the way up, lifting all the way up. Turning your head, keeping your toe muscles engaged. Lengthening back down. And one final one. Lifting all the way up, shoulders down, turning your head. And lengthening back down, head coming down and pressing either onto your side or coming back onto your heels, pressing your arms forward for a really lovely rest position. Breathing in, trying to take as much air as you can into your lungs and breathing out. So taking 2 more breaths here. Breathing all the way in and out. And our final one. And out. Bringing yourself up through to sitting. And if you want to have a rest here, you can stop the video and play it again when you're ready. Because this is the end of our first half. So take a quick drink if you're going to do the entire session. Just have a nice few breaths in and out here. Super. Okay, so in the second half of our video, we're going to be going into some side lying and some back lying stuff. So have your cushions handy, because the first thing that we're going to do is a side lying leg kick. So we're going to set ourselves up. And to have our lower arm lengthened away from us along the floor, in line with our spine, and our head supported on our cushions. Adjust yourself so that you're balancing on the side of your hip. Remember, if you need to, you can slip something padded underneath you to give you a little bit more support. We're going to bring that lower knee up so it's 90 degrees to our body, and our shin is level with the edge of the mat. Draw your toe muscles in, lift your waist up from the floor and place that top hand on the mat so you're really active through your shoulder. Try not to let your shoulder drop forward. Keep it really open. You're going to extend that top leg, have your toe on the floor. So tummy muscles coming on already. But what we're going to do is, as you breathe out, float that leg up to hip height and lower down. And that's not what I said we're going to do at all. So floating it up to hip height, we're going to do some kicks here. So keeping your body as still as possible. As you breathe out, slowly hinge that leg forward, pointing your toe. And inhale, draw back, leading with your heel, taking that heel behind the line of your spine. Going again, pointing forward and coming back. You might be able to feel all these muscles in through your lower core and your hip working. Taking back, lovely, 2 more. And final one. Really working with control. So this long lever is strengthening those muscles surrounding our hips and our pelvic floor. Rest that leg down. You might be able to feel it in the side of your leg and through your glutes here. And we're going to go into some side lying circles. So this time we're going to start with that toe at hip height once again. Remember, those core muscles are working. And then going behind you as much as you do in front. You're going to draw a circle with that toe. The movement is coming from your hip. And you're keeping your leg extended. So really pointing through that toe. You're going to do 6 times in this direction. And then let's go the opposite way. Moving that leg around. Really feeling it in the muscles that support your hip and your lumbar spine. So this is great for strength and really great for injury-proofing your spine. 2 and 1 and lower down. Okay, so grabbing your big cushion or your ball now, going to alter the position of our legs. So we've still got our arms in that extended position. This time we're going to lengthen that lower leg and bring that top knee up so it's at 90 degrees with your knee resting on your ball. So you've got that leg underneath you. That top leg is fairly relaxed, still energetic. So now we're going to go into an inner thigh squeeze. So we're going to lift and lower that lower leg. So make sure it is in line with your spine. As you breathe out, you're going to lift up. Inhale to come down. Now, don't worry about how far you can lift that leg up. Just do whatever suits you. So some people have got more mobility through their hips, and some people have got less. And I can feel this through my inner thigh already. So once again, another wonderful one for your pelvic floor health. And 2 more. And 1 more. And rest down. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to move into our arms and our upper spine with some arm openings. So this time, both legs are together, knees balanced, hips, heels are balanced, and hips are balanced. I really need those labels that you put on yourself to say what everything is, I think. Make sure your head is supported on those cushions and have your hands out in front of you, glued together. Now, hips are balanced, tummy muscles coming in, and we're just going to lift this arm up and take it backwards, following our hands with our eyes. So nice deep breath in to prepare, and breathe out. Slide that top hand forward, and then start lifting it up, turning your head as it goes backwards, rotating through the upper spine, taking the arm behind you. Inhale to reach back up, drawing it over your shoulder, and lowering down. Good. Going again, reaching all the way up and back. Rotating through that spine. Also getting some opening through the front of your chest. Going again, lovely. Keeping your knees together and your hips facing forward. We're going to do 2 more like this. So breathing out to lift all the way up and back. And inhale to come back down. And our final one, breathing out to lift up. And coming back down. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get rid of our cushions now. And instead replace the cushions with your arm. So you're going to clasp your head in your hands as if you're about to do a curl up, lying on your side. And then we're going to do a really lovely rib cage opening. So you're going to keep that top arm glued to your ear as you lift that elbow up and back, really getting that gorgeous rotation through your rib cage. And inhale to come back. So it's a similar movement to what we've done before. We can really restrict this movement, refine the movement to your rib cage. Keep your hips pointing forward and feel that gorgeous twist through your rib cage. So you're trying to open that rib cage up and back, nice and slowly. You might feel this opening through your shoulder as well. Coming all the way up and back and closing down, being careful not to let your hips come back. And our final one, all the way up and back. Inhale to close the elbow back down. Releasing the arm. And then we're going to come over and do exactly the same on the other side, starting with that side lying leg kick. So getting your cushions once again, lengthening that lower arm out along the floor, and trapping your cushions between your head and your arm. Bringing that lower leg up to 90 degrees, making sure that your hips are stacked directly one on top of the other. Top arm, hand on the floor, lots of energy through the arm, and extend that top leg in line with your spine. So we're going to go into that kick. So what we're going to do is breathing out, point that toe to kick forward. Inhale to lead back with your heel, taking your heel behind the line of your spine. So we're working hard through our core and our spine to make sure that our torso doesn't move. The movement is simply coming from the flexion and extension of your hip. So we've got a flexion as your leg goes forward and extension as your heel goes behind the level of your spine. Keep that top arm active. Try not to let your top shoulder roll forward and keep your jaw relaxed. Super good. You're going to do 3 more like this. And 2. You might be able to feel it in your glutes and your legs now. And our final one, bringing that heel back and release down. So with the same starting position, remember our leg is in line with our spine, so try not to let it float forward. Lifting that spine up to hip height, we're going to do those circles here. So nice and slowly, taking that leg behind the line of your spine as much as you do in front. Just breathing normally here, but remembering to keep those core muscles switched on and engaged. Look at this long lever being moved from that hip joint. And let's go the opposite way. Circling around, nice and smoothly. 2 more, really feeling it now. And lower that leg down. Well done. Okay, so now getting your big cushion or that squishy ball. Taking that lower leg down so it's in line with your spine. Bringing that top leg up. Bending it so it's at 90 degrees with your knee resting at hip height on that ball. Try to keep your hips balanced one on top of each other. Long leg is in line with your spine. We're going to go into that lift and lower. So breathing out, lift that leg up. Inhale to lower down. Keep those core muscles engaged. And you might find that you can move one leg higher than the other. Just moving with your breath. Breathing out, keep your jaw relaxed. That top shoulder is melting away from your ear. Good. And our final one, lifting up and lowering down. Release that top leg. And let's get ourselves into position for those lovely arm openings. So bringing both legs up, keeping your knees and your shins in line with the edge of the mat. Head goes on your cushions and your arms go together in front of you. Tummy muscles coming in, hips balanced. You're going to take a nice deep breath in to prepare and breathe out. Float that hand forward. Still breathing out, start lifting that hand up towards the ceiling, opening back behind you, turning your head towards your hand as you go. Inhale to reach all the way up and over down by your side. Let's go again. Reaching the arm all the way up. So lots of space in that joint because you're reaching through your fingers. Inhale to come all the way back over. So we're going to do 4 more like this, nice and slowly, moving with your breath. And I'm just playing with the settings here. And this next one can be your last one. And bringing your arms down. Super. Okay, so from side lying, we're going to roll over and come onto our backs. So lying with your head supported by your cushions if you need them. Just setting yourself up so that your feet and your knees are hip distance apart. You can feel your weight going down through the back of your head, the back of your rib cage and the back of your pelvis. Arms lengthened down by your sides, and we'll do a few little pelvic tilts here. So nice and gently breathing out to imprint your lumbar spine and inhaling to arch away from the floor. Going again, just moving with your breath. And this is lovely for getting that movement through any achy lumbar spine. It's great if you've been working lots or bending over to garden or clean. And 2 more here. Final one, imprinting and arching away. So coming to set yourself somewhere halfway in between. Beginners, we're going to go into a single knee fold. So I'll just demonstrate this first. In our single knee fold, we keep our gaze going up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, you hinge at the hip to float one knee in towards you, coming in as far as you can without letting your pelvis rock back into the floor. Inhale to lower down. Exhaling to bring that knee up. Inhale to lower down. So you're trying to bring that leg in so that your thigh is at 90 degrees. So for more advanced people, you can bring both legs into that double knee fold. Listen to your spine here. You can just continue with that double knee fold. Breathing out and then in and in. Or you can start in that double knee fold and go into a toe tap. So remember, we're keeping our torso completely still, hinging from the hip rather than the knee. Breathing out to tap, inhale to return. Out to tap, inhale to return. Got a lot of tension and control going on through your core here, especially in those lower abdominals. Tapping down and return. Breathing out, shoulders melting down into the spine. Try not to clutch through your thigh. So if you're finding that you're really gripping here, use your glutes a bit more. So switch your glutes on, and you should find that your thigh muscles switch off. Good. And one more on each side. Final one. Hug your knees in towards you and give yourself a bit of a rock from side to side, giving yourself a rest here. Awesome. So now, if you're a beginner, you can have a go at those double knee folds or at those toe taps. Or for more advanced people, we're going to go into a dead bug. So once again, working on our coordination. So we're back in neutral spine and pelvis, lifting our legs up one at a time until they are in our double knee fold position. And then we're going to float our arms up. So this time, dead bug, we're going to move same arm, same leg away from each other. So as you breathe out, hinging at the hip and the shoulder to reach away, coming back through. Breathing out to tap and through. So take that arm back as far as you can whilst keeping your rib cage down. It's really easy to forget and let your rib cage lift off the floor. We're really working our core muscles to make sure that it stays down. Breathing out to tap. Inhale to return. And again. Last one on each side. Breathing out. And coming in and giving yourself a little bit of a rock from side to side. Once again, circle your ankles around if you need to. Really nice to get rid of any cramp and tension that you're holding there. Place your feet down one at a time and get rid of your cushions. Replace those cushions with your hands, so clasping your hands behind your head. Once again, make sure that you're in that lovely neutral relaxation position. So your elbows are up towards the ceiling, your head is heavy in your hands. Heavy through the back of your pelvis and your rib cage, and in neutral pelvis. So you're not imprinting, you're not overarching, you're just nicely neutral. Okay, so we're going to do 6 curl-ups like this. So imagine that your elbows are being lifted up towards the ceiling and forward towards your knees. So let's breathe in and breathe out, lifting up and forward. Inhaling to lengthen back down on the floor. So as you lower back down, we're getting an eccentric contraction. So really lengthening back down and going again. Breathing out. Inhaling to come down, lovely, and 2 more. Final one here. And lengthen down. Take a couple of breaths in and out here to get your breath back. And then beginners, stick with this curl up. More advanced people, we're going to float our legs up one at a time into a double knee fold. Bring your heels together and take your knees slightly further apart. So this time we're going to come into our curl up. We're going to stay here. This is our start position. Then as we breathe in, lengthen your legs away from you. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Breathe out to bring them back in. So you should hear from my voice that this is actually quite tricky. So maintain that curl up. Now if this is too much, you can place your head down and just concentrate on those legs. So inhaling, stretch the legs away. The lower the legs, the harder the exercise. And again, inhaling and back. 2 more to go. And our final one. Place your head down, take your legs back down one at a time, and rest here, giving yourself a nice deep breath in and out. We're just going to sway our legs from side to side. So getting a bit of rotation through your spine and letting those core muscles just move and stretch a little bit before our next exercise. Okay, so if you're a beginner, practice that double leg stretch again. If you're more advanced, we're going to go for the full double leg stretch. But once again, listen to your body. So I'm going to give you some levels. Our first level is where you have your head on the floor supported by a cushion. Bring your legs into that double knee fold, your heels together, your knees out. Hands lengthened by your knees. As we inhale, we take our legs away. Simultaneously reach your arms back. Then as you exhale, float your arms back around to come by your knees. Okay, so we inhale, straighten your arms and legs away from you. Exhale, circle your arms around, bring your knees back in. All the time we maintain that neutral spine and pelvis, so we're keeping our rib cage nice and still. Now, if you are more advanced and want to try that full double leg stretch, we'll go into that. Once again, listen to your lumbar spine. If you feel any pulling, please stop the exercise. Okay, so let's try again. Choose your level. So come into that curl. This is the advanced position. So your rib cage is heavy on the floor. Your gaze is going between your knees. As you inhale, you take your arms back. Exhale, circle around, draw your knees back in. Inhale, take your arms back. Exhale, come through. Take your head down if you need to give your neck and your head a little bit of a rest. We're going to try and do 2 more here. Reaching around. And our final one. Circling around, take your head down, bring your knees in. And rock from side to side. Well done. Okay, so we've got a few nice exercises now just to release that tension. So take your feet down onto the floor, bring your feet and knees together, take your arms up into the air, palms facing each other, balance over your shoulders, breathing in, breathing out, let your legs go to one side, lovely twist through your spine, inhaling to draw back through. Let's go to the other side. So a really lovely way to get that rotation through your lumbar spine, into thoracic spine, which is surrounding your rib cage. Going again, lovely. And last time here, over to the side and come back through to center. Awesome. Okay, so taking your feet back to hip distance apart, we're going to get some really lovely arm circles in. So make sure you can't hit anything by your sides. Lying back down on the floor with that cushion underneath your head if you need a little bit of height. Whoops. So we're going to have our relaxation position. Make sure you're not imprinting or overarching. Arms nice and long, breathing in, breathing out. Take your arms all the way back, over behind you in a rib cage closure. Keep your ribs down. Inhaling, circle those arms around, just skimming the floor. And going again. Bring your arms all the way up and back on the exhale, and inhale to circle around. Really gorgeous to get that movement at our shoulder joints. Good. And one more. Circling around, and we're going to go the other way. So this time, exhaling, slide your arms away, around along the floor, reaching up and over to come back. Let's go again. Circling your arms around, reaching up and over. Circling around. Good. We've got 2 more like this. And our final one. Circling around, back up and over. Okay, so now we're going to combine that ribcage closure with a single leg slide. So once again, coordination and alignment are working hard. Breathing in to prepare, breathing out, slide one leg away as you reach your arms up and back. Feel length from your fingers to your toes and draw back in. Breathing out to slide. Reaching away, inhale to return. Going again, sliding away, really reaching through your fingers and your toes, coming back. Good. Okay, last one on each side here. Make sure that your torso is remaining completely still. Really enjoy the stretch down the front of your body. Last one, and drawing back. Okay, so now I'm going to try and do a double leg slide. So bring your knees together, and this time sliding your heels away as you take your arms back. Make sure your rib cage doesn't lift on your lumbar spine arch. Inhaling to draw those legs back in. You should really feel those core muscles switch on as you draw your legs in. If you're a beginner, stick with that single leg slide. And don't do this exercise until you're completely sure that your core is strong enough. So listen to your back and your spine. Coming back in, great. 3 more. Sliding away, keep your legs glued together, inner thighs squeezed. And 1 more, sliding away. And coming back in, good stuff. Okay, we're going to bring our knees in. Give yourself a rock from side to side. So you can either come to sitting normally or you can just grasp behind your thighs, being aware of your back. So if you have back problems, don't try this. You can just start rocking backwards and forwards and bring yourself up to sitting with your momentum. Coming around to face the front now. And we're going to come into a lovely mermaid. So setting yourself up. You can either have your legs slightly apart, or you can bring your legs so that your foot is resting on the top of the opposite thigh. Your hands down by your sides, and try to imagine that piece of thread is just lifting up through your spine so you're sitting nice and tall. Now we're going to move the hands by your ankle first. So remember that lovely tall position. We're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, float the arm all the way up. Lift up and over, letting that supporting arm bend. Inhale to restack and float the arm down before going on the other side. Arm coming all the way up and then reaching up and out, lengthening through your waist. Up and over. Super. Going again. And down. And again on the other side, reaching up and over. We've got one last one on each side here. The lifting up and out of your waist. And your final one. Reaching up and over. Good. Okay, so we're going to swap our legs around. You can either have your knees quite close together, or you can place that foot on top of your thigh once again. Sitting nice and tall, arms lengthened down, piece of thread coming through the top of your head, shoulders released. I'm going to move that hand by our ankle first of all. So breathing in and breathing out, reach the arm all the way up. Let that weight go onto the supporting hand as you reach up and over. Inhale to restack and down. Going on the other side, lifting all the way up, enjoying that lovely sideways stretch. And again, all the way up and over. And again, reaching all the way up and over. Final one. Breathing out to reach, restack and down. And our last one, all the way up and over, restack and down. Super. Okay, so straightening your legs out in front of you now. Placing a little cushion beneath you if you need a bit more height through your hips. So you can get your narrow cushion, placing it underneath you. Feet hip distance apart, sitting nice and tall, reaching our arms out to the front. We're going to go into a lovely spine stretch forward. So imagine that you have a massive big beach ball here in front of you. I'm going to lift up and over. So challenging our control and our alignment. So it's like your breastbone is going forward between your feet. So nice and tall, imagine that little hand just pushing it up through the base of your spine. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, nod your chin forward. Lift up and out of your waist as you roll forward. Lovely flexion through your spine. Inhale to restack. Lovely. Let's go again. Might feel a slight stretch down the back of your hamstrings as you send your arms forward. Restack up. Lovely. Let's see if we can do 4 more here. So each time, just try to roll a little bit more smoothly and a little bit further forward. Let your shoulders melt down your rib cage as you come back up. Breathing out to go forward again. Keep your feet flexed and your toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And we've got 2 more to go. Coming up nice and tall. And this is our final one. Breathing out to rock forward. Inhale to come back up and bring your arms down by your side. Remove your cushion. Bend your knees. And one bone at a time, we're just going to lower down onto the floor, using the back of your legs for support. Lower yourself down, float your arms all the way up and back, take your legs away, and give yourself a lovely full body stretch. So reaching through your fingers and your toes, and then kind of picking cherries. So imagine you're picking cherries off a tree, so reaching through your hands, getting a lovely little side to side movement. Really reaching again, big breath in and out. Rolling onto your side, pushing yourself up to sitting. Crossing your legs over each other, breathing in, breathing out, take your arms all the way up, reaching them back, press the air away. And we're going to go one more time, reaching all the way up and press the air away and give yourself a clap. Thank you so much. It's been really fun this morning, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've really enjoyed it as well. I'll be back on Monday, but in the meantime, have a really great weekend and take care of yourselves. Bye.